The views and comments expressed on the following radio program by its hosts and their guests do not necessarily reflect the views of rmconair.com or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
And welcome to another edition of Manners and More with Millena. I'm your host, Millena Gay, and it's a special birthday edition, and I'm sitting here with some of my fabulous friends who have been so kind to join me today on this very, very special episode. And I first want to take a moment to say thank you for tuning in every week and for being such diligent watchers and diligent listeners. It really, really means a lot to me, guys. I really do mean it. And just keep on supporting, and I really appreciate it. And keep on tweeting and follow me on Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff. But most importantly, keep tuning in and keep watching this wonderful show. And now we're going to get right into the birthday. It's all about the birthday. Woo! So yesterday was Cinco de Mayo. And it also happened to be my birthday. And lots of fun was had, a great, fabulous day. And now we are continuing this celebration today on this segment. And so I am joined by the beautiful, fantastic, wonderful, lovely, exquisite Brenda Epperson.
Oh, thank you so much. How are you?
I'm fabulous. Thank you, my friend.
And it's your birthday.
Hey.
It's your birthday. Hey, it's your birthday. Oh my gosh, I'm
That's
so
the
happy to be
remix.
here.
Oh, thank you. I'm so
Thank
glad
you
to
for
have
having me.
You are so welcome. I know we've been talking about this for a few months, and
We
this
have.
is the perfect show for you.
And even though it's
I'm
your
so
birthday,
excited.
I'm going to be on my best manners.
Okay.
Because we're talking about manners too, right?
Yes,
Okay.
we're talking about birthday etiquette, birthday manners.
Oh, does etiquette go out for a birthday, doesn't it?
It's supposed to. It's supposed to.
No,
Now,
I'm saying,
sometimes-
doesn't etiquette fly out for your birthday or no?
No.
Oh, so you were still fabulous.
You're
on your
supposed to be
birthday.
fabulous and supposed to be
Oh.
controlled, but that is not always the case. And so sometimes it's okay to let that go.
Okay.
You know, once you're composed, and like when I was at church yesterday, I was very composed and had a
Good.
great time. And then the
After
party.
2 Long Islands, it's over.
You know what? The Peanut
I'm
Gallery.
saying.
Yeah, who was that?
Right, who also happened to be at the birthday party last night, who knows way too much information. So, So I'm going to go around and introduce everybody else. I have the wonderful, very talented Mr. Richard Gant. He
Hello.
is visiting with us today for a few moments. Hello, Richard.
How are you?
I'm fabulous. It's my birthday.
It is your birthday.
Yes.
Yesterday.
What did you do yesterday on your birthday?
I went to church.
Yes.
I went to church. I spent good time with my dear Reverend Della Reese, and she gave me a great giant birthday hug and a kiss. And, you know, I got a really good message and a good word.
Wonderful,
The Mayor
wonderful.
of Inglewood spoke.
Mayor of
yesterday,
Inglewood, yeah.
And it was just a very wonderful service. And then I got a chance to speak to, spend a few moments with another dear mentor of mine who has really sewn into my life, which is Marla Gibbs. I call
Marla,
her,
yeah.
I call her Grandma Marla.
Grandma Marla.
Yes, and it was actually very special yesterday to, thank you for asking.
No, I'm interested actually in whether or not you were with Stephen Williams last evening. Were you with Steve?
Well, on that note,
Was that your? I shouldn't have said that.
not today.
I was
Body
simply,
language. Check
We're
your
going to
body
learn some
language.
manners
Great.
today, Millena. We're going to learn some manners today. We don't ask about no personal business.
Did you see the body language? Did we look at the body language? Look at her body language.
There was a party that was going on, and one of our other guests in the studio, I'd like to welcome Miss Natalie Whittle. Thank you for joining us today. Don't we like that segue?
Good evening. Nice to be back again.
Welcome, Natalie. Welcome.
Yes, Richard with his tea, honey.
Yes. Stop looking over here, Richard.
I'm just wondering, Natalie, it's not a known fact that black women can blush.
Wow,
but
today.
as we look at Millena here, I'm now seeing her blush.
Wow. Okay.
It's the lipstick and the reflection of my skin of the dress.
Got you.
And she is wearing blush, so
Yes.
Clearly.
And
That's
the
it.
reflection of
Yeah.
the dress is
So-
that.
So we're gonna
go with
move
that.
on.
Yes. Thank you, Natalie,
my left.
fabulous actress, and for joining on birthday today. And Richard, Natalie will share information, censored, about it if you just really want to know. But I'm sure our viewers and listeners, they're not interested in it.
I'm sure they are.
I'm sure they're not. They don't want to know. Well, you know what they want to know? They want to know who's sitting next to Natalie. That's what they want to know. Hey, Tico.
Oh my God.
Hey, how are you?
I'm not going to mention Stephen Williams.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not going to do it.
Yes.
I'm going to mind my manners.
You can do it a little bit.
Be nice.
That is TRO.
Right
there.
What's up, man?
Oh my goodness.
I heard you were coming through and I missed you. Sorry. Happy birthday, Stephen.
Wow.
Happy birthday.
Yes, it was my birthday.
Okay.
Thank you. It was a little
Happy
party.
birthday to you.
Oh, thank you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Millena. I won't mention any guys.
Thank you.
Steven.
Stop it.
Stephen.
OMG. Okay. We are talking about
Stephen
birthday
was in the
etiquette.
house, baby.
Stephen was in the house.
Was in the house.
Hey.
Stephen was in the house.
Oh, Brenda, you can. Wow, this is okay, really? I don't even know what to do anymore. This is my show, Manners and More with Millena. And you know what? We're going to take a quick commercial break. That's what we're going to do, because it's still my show. How about that? Be right back.
Tico, baby.
You set it up.
Yeah. Song.
Mind my manners and leave.
I could sit up here and just and giggle for.
I know. It's
And
fun.
welcome back to Manners and More with Millena. I'm your host, Millena Gay, and today we are talking about birthday etiquette, and I am joined by my wonderful, fantastic, fabulous friends, Brenda Epperson. Yay! Mr. Richard Gant.
Hello.
Yay!
Hello.
And Tico Wells.
Yes, we can.
And Natalie Whittle is still here with us, and she is bringing in another wonderful person who is joining us today for this fabulous conversation about birthdays and etiquette and all sorts of good stuff. But let's just tell everybody like who we are.
Okay, good, because I thought you were going to say, let's tell everybody how old we are.
No.
Birthday.
No.
And I was like, okay, stop. That's where I'm like, no.
No. So I'm 29 again. So,
Oh, 29, yeah.
Yeah,
How do
again,
you handle that, though? Like, when you have a birthday you really don't want to face. Do you have a party or just not have the party? Like,
you know-
what do you think?
Honestly, that happened to me this year because I really did not want to have a party. I did not want to have,
Really?
like next year I'm going to have this big giant blowout, but this year I really did not want to do anything.
Okay.
I just wanted to go to church. That's
Okay.
all I wanted to do.
Right.
My managers insisted that we have to do something, have
Okay.
to do something.
Okay.
And so then ended up a little party was
But it was
gotten
nice,
together.
right?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was great. It was actually a lot of fun. We
Yeah.
had a great time at the little club and we had a
Right.
great time at dinner.
Right.
And it was fantastic.
Which little club was that?
A club
She
in
can't
Hollywood.
remember.
Right, I can't remember because it was her
I don't think
birthday.
she can remember. Because it was her birthday.
You know what, Natalie?
I remember the club. I'm back, y'all. I had to go get somebody outside, but they're not even here. We went to the Grand Ole Abbey, honey.
Ah,
Yes, we was keeping it live and fabulous with the kids, baby.
yeah.
Oh, and that's where Natalie chose to have our conversation.
Say it right.
Our glass of water.
Beverage.
Our birthday glass of
I
water.
had water. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, our birthday glass of water.
I had
Celebrate.
water. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying.
Well, I like that you went to
yes.
church, too, because that really is the best way to start off a birthday.
It is.
Because it's from
really
up there
is.
that you came.
Exactly.
And you gotta
And
go.
the
I gotta
club is
keep-
where you go.
Exactly.
No, it's from heaven.
It's from heaven where we came, and we give thanks. And so, actually, after the service, it really what meant the most to me is I felt that I needed to just say thank you to the people who have sown into me. And
That's
so I
awesome.
spoke to my grandmother, I spoke to my moms, I spoke to very important people, and I
Right.
specifically said thank you. It's wonderful that Reverend Della Reese is my pastor, and that she is sowing into my life just nuggets of information, just not nuggets, just barrels of information that really helped me to be a better person. So I really took the time to say thank you to her, and then I went over to Miss Marla's house and just spent some time with her, just a few minutes, just telling her thank you.
Right.
I've known her for like 4 or 5 years now,
Yeah,
and she's
yeah.
just, her who she is just so remarkable in what she's done in the industry, but just her as a person. And to take the time, she's actually the star of the feature film that I'm executive producing. And we've done a couple of community service projects together, and she's just a wonderful person. But she,
Yeah.
there are a lot of people that, try to talk to people, and Richard and Tico, people try to get to people, but when people take the time to say, you should do this, you should not do this, you should actually listen to that and respect that. And so I have, and it's because I am now the person that I am and growing more to be because of these fabulous, strong, wonderful women in my life. And I took yesterday to say thank you to them.
That's
Thank you
awesome.
so
wonderful.
much because they did.
Yeah.
And also Natalie,
Yes, ma'am.
she keeps me on track. I appreciate her.
Here he is.
And we have another special guest.
Yes.
Woo-woo.
Was this special guest with you guys last evening?
No, he was not.
Oh, well, he would
It would've been great to
love
have
to
him
hear
there.
about it. I can.
Because, honey, we needed some muscle. Yes.
We did. Richard, why don't you, I'm going to let in our special guest, and then why don't you tell the fans what it is that you do other than just sit and be
Heckle.
fabulous.
Talk about
Yes,
Stephen.
talk about Stephen Williams. Oh, my
Oh,
God.
my goodness.
Well, my name is Richard Gant. As I've been introduced, I've been in show business for the better part of 45 years. My good friend Tico Wells, who's also here, he and I have done a number of things together. One specific thing back at the Negro Ensemble Company in New York, and so I'm a production person who's engaged in theatrical pursuits. I am an actor.
All right.
You know.
A thespian, honey.
A thespian.
What's up, brother?
A real
I would like to say though, in regards to the people here, Tico, and I'm sure you would appreciate it, the ladies. These women have the teeth of life. Have you looked at this?
Fine teeth. Fine teeth.
What the teeth of life?
The teeth
Am
of
I
life.
right?
Oh my gosh.
Just beautiful.
Fine set of choppers.
My goodness.
Thank you.
Take
Shopper.
that compliment.
I will take
Thank
that
you.
too.
Oh, there you go.
Really? Okay.
My orthodontist thanks you.
Yeah.
Yes. Who we got sitting next to me on my right?
That's a classy man.
That's a classy
right.
man. Exactly. And I'd like to welcome to the show the fabulous, wonderful. Everybody is fabulous. I'm sorry, they just are. The very talented, brilliant. I mean, this guy. Okay, now we've spoken to him before on the telephone, but I actually. Okay, so you know that I don't Google my friends. I really don't know. I just know that they're good people. And that's what makes a real friend. And so, I know, we've seen each other on lots of red carpets, and I knew what he did, but oh my gosh, I saw the movie a couple weeks ago. I was like, called him up, dude, you rock!
For the first time.
You rock! He's genius and brilliant. And you know who I'm talking about if you've seen the movie The Blind Side with Sandra Bullock. Then you have seen Mr. Quentin Aaron, and you have seen his brilliance in his acting. And he's just a wonderful, sweet, dear friend. And thank you so much for joining us on the birthday show. Hey,
Yay!
Quentin!
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
So you just saw the movie The Blind Side?
You know what?
How long y'all been friends? 2 weeks?
Like, really?
That moving out for 10,000 years, baby.
I mean, actually,
Get it together.
What's really funny is I actually saw that, and then I saw 5 Heartbeats like the next day.
Right.
There you go.
Shout out to Tico.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tico Wells. Tico, you've done the 5 Heartbeats. We do know that.
I've done the 5 heartbeats.
And what else did you share?
I've done the 5
No,
heartbeats.
you guys. What
Done
else?
the 5 heartbeats. I got nothing but love for you, baby.
You a preacher boy, choir boy.
Quiet boy.
Choir boy and 5 Heartbeats.
It's so weird because it's like we shot the movie in 1990. It came out in 91. And now it's 2013. And you finally got a chance to see it. That's great.
Yeah. Here we go. Yeah, here we go.
20 years later.
I'm hoping to get some tips today about how I can get in some more movies. If you know how I can do Mr. Gant or yourself. I'm trying to get into some more movies, TV shows. I've been studying acting for a while, and pounding the pavements. Any suggestions or anything like that?
Yeah, I have suggestions.
Okay, good.
Like what? Number one.
She really is my friend.
I want to do what Will Smith is doing.
I think.
I want to do what Will Smith is doing.
Oh, well, you can call him up. Ask him.
Okay.
I need some suggestions
Wait,
on how to do what he's
producer?
doing too.
Yeah, no,
Like
Quentin.
a $20 million deal. That's, because I was watching Floyd Mayweather last night on YouTube. I'm a YouTube freak. Excuse me, as manners and more. I'm a YouTube enthusiast.
Yes, thank you. Enthusiast.
Junkie.
Yes.
So,
Nice transition.
things I'm interested in.
Did you notice his body language when he said that?
Yes.
What's going on? Because y'all being real rude on this man
What's
sorry.
show.
going on over there?
It was just, I was noticing your body language in the transition.
Ooh.
Who?
It was very nice. You. Go ahead.
Well, I forgot where I was. So therefore, I had to dot my I's and tit my T's.
And do what? Cross your T's.
Tit your teeth.
Don't you tit T's?
He got a titty tease.
Okay, this is the
Titty
Etiquette
to
show,
tease.
and it's my birthday show,
Yes.
and I call it back to
Cross T,
order.
excuse
He
me.
the one that said titty to tease.
Pardon me.
I have no idea.
Pardon me.
What is that?
Welcome, Quentin Aaron. Moving on. Welcome,
Anyway.
Quentin Aaron.
Oh, the brother was talking.
Don't
Believe
leave me.
Don't be rude.
I
This is
know.
Madison Moore. Now,
right.
come on. Show the people some
More.
etiquette.
Manners.
Yes, sir, I shall.
Trippingly upon the tongue.
So anyway, like you were saying.
Yes.
So
what
you
were
know
saying?
what? I do voices. I do different voices. I like to do voices. I like to act. I like to hike. I'm a hiker. I'm a hiker.
Okay.
I live in the hills. I live in the hills and we hike.
Oh.
I'm just being corny and funny because
In the
I just
hills,
came from
that's
Mike
fancy.
Collier's show. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
and Michael Collier has a fantastic show. He was a guest on my show 2 weeks ago, and I was a guest on his show last week, so I am very familiar with the format of Michael Collier's show.
Michael
and
Collier, you know, he's
the
kind of crazy.
ampness
kinda amped
that
up,
comes
pumped
along
up.
with.
I think what she's
Mr.
saying
Collier.
is, this ain't the Michael Collier show.
Oh, no, she's not saying that. No, she's not saying that.
This is Manners and More.
Manners and more
Okay.
with Melena.
With
Like,
Millena.
Yeah, like the
I'm
birthday
just
girl.
saying what the girls, I'm just translating what the lady's trying to say.
I'm not looking at your leg.
I
Your
never
leg?
said that.
I'm not looking at her leg.
We would like to welcome.
Okay.
We would like to welcome.
I'm not looking at the jeans with the cut slits. I'm not
Yes,
looking
people, I
at
have
that.
slits in my
That's
jeans.
wonderful.
I want you to know that, Millena.
I'm so glad. Thank you. Thank
And
you for
Melina,
not
I
doing
didn't
that.
answer your question. I was daytime television, Young and the Restless, Ashley, for
Yes.
8 years. So
Yes.
Seriously.
thank you. That's
Young and the
South St.
Restless.
John.
Yes.
Young and the Restless. Yes, we love Young and the Restless.
Yeah.
We love you because
Yeah, and now you're on.
I'm now on Young
Now
and the
on.
Restless. Yay.
That's right.
Marjorie Curtis.
Yes.
right.
All right.
That's right.
But I don't look like this
I gotta
on the
watch
show.
it.
You don't? Oh, sounds
No, I have a
very
curly
tedious.
wig and I don't look like this.
Right.
So, yeah.
I remember my foray into daytime television.
Tell us.
Being on stage or on television, evening television.
Mm-hmm.
You do maybe six pages a day tops. Right. You go on daytime and they're doing 140,
Exactly.
50
A day.
I didn't know we were rehearsing. We were shooting. Wow. I looked over my scene partner and she was saying, "Pick it up, brother.
Yes.
Pick it
Yes.
up."
This is on tape. Cut.
Oh
And
my
moving on.
God.
Moving on.
Right.
Wow.
That was perfect. Great. Did you get that look? No, but that was perfect.
Oh.
Great. Beautiful. Beautiful.
And moving on.
You're so funny because it's true. You're just like,
It is. I mean, it's the best training ground because if you can memorize 150 pages in a day, you can certainly remember 6.
I know that's right.
If you know what you're
Remember
doing.
if you know what you're doing, yeah.
What about that? It's not about
Not
that.
about that.
No.
But you know, let's
Look
talk
good.
to Mr. Quentin.
Yeah.
I'm
came
just
to
having
join
fun
us?
listening.
Yes,
watching.
cute dog.
Oh,
I'm
we want to hear from you. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm chilling. I'm
Good.
Have you met Michael or?
I did actually. I did a month ago in Chicago. We did an autograph signing together.
Oh, fancy.
Where you from, brother?
From New York.
Oh, where?
From the Bronx.
Where?
All over.
Okay.
Over the Bronx.
Okay.
Born in Jacoby. Lived on Tremont. Lived on Townsend, Cedric Avenue.
Whoa, okay. Okay.
Shouts out to Brooklyn. Shouts out to the NYC.
Bronx.
Bronx,
Bronx,
honey.
I'm sorry, NYC.
Bronx.
She don't
Bronx.
not listen. You would talk your host.
Etiquette show.
Listening is part of etiquette. Thank you.
How'd you get caught up in theater, brother?
Yes. How did you get caught up in theater?
I always wanted to act. Growing up, I would always act out characters I seen on TV and home. In front of the TV, my mom told me she think that's how I learned how to read because I would always read what I saw on TV.
Wow.
And some of the stuff I would say I shouldn't have been saying at that age.
Oh. Uh-oh. Like, okay, no, never mind.
All that words.
Yeah. So we had the TV with the subtitles and stuff. So like you would listen to it and you hear it. So then that's how I knew what the words was.
Oh.
And then like when I would watch those programs over and I see the words and just like start picking up on it and reading it. And then so she would hear me talking and thought I was talking to myself and then come in the room and see me reading off the subtitles. That's how she found out I know how to learn how to read.
great.
Wow.
How old are you?
Oh, yay for mom.
Probably
Preschool.
like 4 or 5.
Oh my goodness.
4 or
Aren't
5
you
years
gifted?
I try.
Gifted in black. All right. I love it. Yes.
Young, gifted, and black, and a cutie pie.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
try.
very sweet.
Y'all gonna make me blush.
Brother, do people come up and just kind of pinch you on your cheek every now and then?
Yeah, they used to a lot. Now they
What?
can't reach it. 'Cause
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, you a grown man.
Oh, that's cute.
That's
It
fabulous.
was when I was younger. They'd come in. I'm like, come on, auntie. People watching.
Right. 25 now.
Everybody
Come
wants
on.
to know.
Exactly.
I know everybody wants to know, how did you get that role on Blindside? How did you get that fantastic? That's like the role of a lifetime.
From my mom.
Really?
My mom. At the time, I had a manager who didn't know what to do with me. So nothing was being done. So my mom was online. We had subscribed to one of those casting websites, and she was looking constantly day and night for roles for me, and she found it on a website and
Like Actors
submitted me to
Access
it.
or something.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's exactly the
That's
website.
the
she
one.
sent
That's
me.
what I
Really?
figured.
Get out of town.
Wow.
That's what I
Access.
figured.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Actors Access, yeah. And,
Wow.
submitted me for it, and she literally woke me up 3 in the morning and showed me the breakdown and said, go back to sleep. I said, all right, cool. The next afternoon, they called me for the audition, and then it was cool.
There's a lot of people
Rest
there.
is
That's a great
history.
story.
There
That's
had to be so many people there.
It was, yeah.
Like
There's
crazy.
Right.
A lot of people on it. And it was a nationwide search for that character. So they literally, all the big cities in the United States, they were looking.
Wow.
I won a lotto.
That was nothing but a blessing, baby.
Exactly.
Did you have a sense going in that this was yours, or you just had no clue?
I was just hoping that I didn't forget the lines, because I always like to go into auditions with all my lines down.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like to read off the thing. And they say, hold your sides. I was like, I don't need it. I'm good. So went in there and did that, and then the casting director started crying, and I never seen casting director show emotion.
No, right?
Yeah.
Crying.
Wow.
And so they're like, oh my God, we found our Michael. She comes like, give me a hug and everything. It was crazy.
Beautiful.
I thought I was gonna
Okay.
That's an
wonderful.
amazing
You thought you were being
story.
punked?
Yeah.
You thought you were being punked?
Where's Ashton?
Y'all playing, this is not cool if y'all playing with me. I'm gonna cry.
Had you played
It was
football
cool.
before?
Yeah, I played 1 year in high school, and then I joined a middle pro team in the Bronx when I moved back to New York after graduation. I was doing
Okay.
security and football.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
So what are you doing now?
I'm still acting. I have a couple movies I'm supposed to be doing this summer.
I'm going to give you a call about getting a role in those movies, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I don't know
What?
the pool
just
that I
saying.
have yet, but I'll try and see what's up. But,
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Not the
I'm
man
just
with the
saying,
money
audience
or
is
the man
watching.
behind the
Tico
camera.
asked, what are some tips? This is a tip. You ask your friends what you got
That's
going
right.
on. How can I
That's
be in
right.
it?
I've done that and gotten a couple
That's how you
jobs.
do.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's how you're in the pageant and
Let him
here
finish
and-
the answer.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go on. It's
Millena.
about you. Yes.
Oh yeah, no, I was saying I have a couple movies I'm supposed to be doing this summer. I was like, what season is this? This summer. One in Florida in June, which I will be singing in.
Ooh. Are you a singer?
I grew
He
up.
is today.
I love it. Oh,
All right.
another talent.
I also just got asked to do another movie the end of the summer, which will be shot partly in North Carolina and other part in Brazil.
Oh,
Fabulous.
wow. Brazil. Fantastic.
I'm happy. I've never been.
Oh,
From what I understand, you're going to really enjoy it.
Okay.
From what I
That would
understand.
be awesome.
I don't know either.
It's fun there.
I just told them I hope that the weather is good when we go.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't- One thing, I'm not too particularly fond of hurricanes and
Yeah.
Oh, hurricane ain't
storms
nothing.
like that.
Yeah, they kind of have that there.
Hurricane
Don't
ain't
they?
hurt nobody.
I see them on TV. I just rather stay away from the light.
You talking about Brazil? Mm-hmm. Brother, from what I understand about Brazil, you won't care about that.
And that's what I was trying not to say.
Ain't that carnival season anyway?
YouTube. Go on YouTube and type in Brazil.
Right.
Okay.
I want to go.
All right. Okay, cool.
I got to get my body together
the best.
first. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I put an affirmation out there that our careers continue to soar, that we have interesting, creatively inspiring jobs and roles, and that we create stuff for ourselves and our friends,
Yes.
and that we just continually be blessed and abundant in our creativity, and not let the industry define us ever.
Exactly.
We are creative, whether the phone's ringing or the phone's not ringing. That's right. We are whole and complete,
Yeah.
and so it is.
And
Yeah.
Ooh, I
So it is.
accept
So it is.
that.
So it is
See that. Oh,
Thank you.
And my brother, I mean, you know, being the youngest of the group here.
Excuse me, I'm the youngest.
I'm sorry, I lost my mind because yesterday was your birthday and you
Denial.
back there, 29.
29 in my
29,
head.
Yeah. Okay.
35.
You can, in this industry, you can define yourself. It's going to take you a minute, but you can define yourself. And we, the other 5 of us here, are going to watch this journey and see at what point you just say, "Oh no, I'm going the way I would like to go," and it's going to be very interesting. And we're waiting for that. Just so you know, you've gotten that affirmation from us that it's yours to take
Awesome.
when you step to it.
Yes, it is.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's something I definitely wish to,
Will do.
Yeah.
Something you will do.
will
There
do,
you go.
Definitely.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Wow.
Okay, and with that, we are going to take a quick break on Manners and More with Millena, and we'll be right back with the birthday episode. Stay tuned.
Mm-hmm. I got to run.
And welcome back to Manners and More with Millena. I'm your host, Millena Gay, and today we're celebrating the special birthday episode. Well, we had to let Mr. Tico and Mr. Richard Gant leave, but they will be back very soon. But we are still here with the fabulous Brenda Epperson.
Oh, my goodness.
Wonderful,
Sorry.
dear fabulous friend.
camera.
Love her. And my cutie pie, Quentin.
Yay!
Quentin Winton, just a cutie woody. You know what? I actually have some pictures, guys.
And Natalie Whittle.
And I have some pictures, and we're going to show pictures in a minute.
Just
we're going to show
rude.
pictures in a minute. I'm going to get there. So we're going to show pictures because we hang out so much on the red carpet and everything.
Okay.
So I pulled up some pictures. I took them from my phone, and actually they're from when we were at Zen with Claudia.
Okay.
And Natalie
okay.
was in the picture. And
Well,
then
and Quentin was so cute. He goes, I used to watch Young and The Restless all the time with my mom. I was like, oh, that's so cute. That's so cute.
And then we're also here with Natalie Whittle. And we are here with Sherry James. Thank you, Sherry.
Hi.
For joining us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. And we're going to talk to you a little bit later on towards the end, which is unfortunately almost here.
I know, I can't believe it.
It disappears. And we haven't even really talked about birthday stuff.
Right. Yeah.
But right now we're going to go to these pictures before we get
Okay.
to that part. 'Cause
Okay.
Actually, we talked about birthday stuff in the beginning. Oh, my gosh. Okay, so the
We got
first picture
sidetracked.
is Quentin and Natalie and myself at the Zen
my
Lounge.
gosh.
That was us. I remember we went there,
Seemed like so
Natalie.
long ago.
And
I
we
know.
went there at that's Quentin and me. Look at that cute picture.
Aw.
Isn't that precious? That's I just love that picture. It's so
Love
sweet.
it.
And there's Brenda Epperson, and that's when we were at David Marish event for the FSH Muscular Dystrophy.
That's right. We were
Society.
sweating and you know, doing our walk.
Doing
and-
our walk around that
And then
lake.
that's,
And this is at the Derby event. This is the second Derby. That's our good friend Melissa Biggs. Melissa Biggs. And then that's us, another picture with me with long hair.
That was from this year, Derby?
That was
No,
last year's
last
Derby.
year.
Oh, last. I was there last year.
You were there, and you were there this year.
No, I didn't go to Derby this year.
No, you didn't go. Oh, you went to. You're talking about the actual Kentucky Derby.
Yeah.
Because it's
Oh,
this week.
yeah, it was this past weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
That's what I thought that was from.
Yeah,
Okay.
the event. I
Have you
a
been to
picture
the
of
Kentucky Derby?
It's cute.
I went last year for the first time. I was supposed to go this year, but I was stuck out of town,
Oh, okay. Couldn't make it.
finishing up my anti-bullying tour. So
Oh, good.
Yes, which is why I was just.
Oh,
That's a
nice.
great segue. I was just going to get to that because you both have very, very wonderful. But besides being such amazingly talented actors, you have very special philanthropic organizations that are closely associated with yourself. I know that Brenda, you have one that has to do with kids, and I want to hear so much more about that. And I know Quentin has one with anti-bullying. So. Kids, anti-bullying.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Okay.
And then we're going to actually talk about the birthday etiquette in a minute.
Okay.
ladies first.
Oh, that's us ladies first. He's so sweet. Well, anti-bullying, I think, is really imperative, and I think it's a huge problem that we're having right now in our society. So I commend you for that. Mine has to do with trafficking, A21 campaign, as well as Compassion International. The kids that are being used to traffic in our United States. It's shocking to know the amount of kids that are being kidnapped and trafficked abroad as well as within our own walls is really horrifying.
Oh, wow.
So we don't even realize half the time what's happening right underneath our nose. And Compassion International deals with outside of the country adopting a child and taking on their life. See, I've always wanted to have an orphanage. But I haven't been able to accomplish that yet. I haven't been to Africa. So my spot was Africa. I just had a heart for the children in Africa and the suffering and the poverty that they live in. So I thought, you know what? If I can't have an orphanage, I'm going to have a virtual orphanage. So I have my virtual orphanage, and I have adopted these children, and I have them on my wall. I'm going to have enough to have my orphanage. I just don't have walls around it. But the kids with Compassion go to school. They're fed. They're safe. They're taken care of while their parents farm or scrounge for money. And the kids, the girls are safe, then they're not then being used to make money or, vulnerable to traffickers. So those are really
That's wonderful.
two organizations that are really close to my heart.
Brenda. Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
Anything I can do to help you, please let me know.
Thank you.
I love,
so
it's
sweet.
just, I mean, what you're doing is so important. It's so important.
We all can make a difference.
Exactly. No
I
matter how big, how
believe
small, we
that.
can all make a difference. It's so fantastic. Fantastic. And Quentin, tell us about your anti-bullying campaign.
Well, it's a new foundation. Just started. I named it after myself.
The Quentin Aaron Foundation?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Very cool.
Yes. And it was funny because I didn't have any other clever name to come up with at the time.
I
And
know, right? And they've all been taken.
my executive director was like, "Why don't you just name it after yourself? People call you Big Mike anyway. So if they see your foundation name, they'll start to get it. This is not Big Mike." So
Right.
it was
I wanted
like,
to ask you a question about that, like in the
Big
movie. I
Mike.
know I already asked you like a million questions, but remind me
Yeah.
afterwards, like, why didn't he like the name Big Mike? But anyway, that's a segue. We'll go
Okay.
back to the anti-bullying. That's the question now.
cool. We started back in October of last year, and the tour, which we just completed the end of last month, was the first I call it like a campaign to introduce the foundation
Right.
and what we're about and hope to accomplish. So instead of putting out PSAs and going viral, we decided to
Go on the road.
go all over the country.
Yeah.
And just visit schools, visit communities, and get to speak to kids and parents and teachers. And
Do you find that's more
And-
effective to
and
do that?
yes, I actually
Each school, does it have a different set of problems and issues, or do you find a thread of all the problems and issues kind of stemming from one thing, or is it different?
I
in
feel
each
like
region?
a lot of the schools pertain to they kind of all go through the same thing.
Yeah.
Like they all deal with the same thing. You have the class clowns. You have the popular kids who pick on the other ones. You have the other ones who want to be with the popular kids, so they take the torture, and it's like all over. And basically, we try to do a couple things. We try to get the kids that are being bullied to grow a thick skin, so to speak. Words should not affect you to the point where you want to kill yourself.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
should not be, a problem. That should not. And so we try to relate certain messages like that. Like we'll give them stories or tell them stories about worse situations than theirs to get them to see if this person can still smile, why can't you?
Right.
You know, this one kid, I was speaking at a detention center, youth detention center, and there was a kid with cuts all over his arms and stuff and asked me if I ever thought about suicide when I was being bullied. And I showed him a picture I had in my phone. I no longer have, it was in my iPhone. I broke my iPhone.
Shame on you.
I know. Yeah, it was one of those things where I was in the car, it was on my lap, got out the car, forgot it was on my lap, and down the sewer.
Yeah.
But I showed him a picture of a man with no legs, one arm, holding a cup with change. He had probably 2 teeth in his mouth and a smile on his face. And so I showed him that picture, and he was like, I said, what's odd about that picture? He goes, he's smiling. And I said, now why is that odd? And he said, because he has no legs, he has one arm, and he has no teeth. And I said, yet he still found a reason to smile. He still has a reason to live. He's holding a cup asking for change. Now, what is it that have you to the point where you cut yourself, where you feel like you don't want to be here anymore? He goes, my girlfriend left me and people talk bad about me. Now I said, do you think people talk bad about him when they see him? He goes, yeah. And I said, looking at the smile on his face, do you think he cares? He said, no. And I said, so why should you care what people say about you? He goes, I shouldn't. I said, okay. Now, how old are you? He goes, 16. I said, I'm pretty sure that's not going to be the last girlfriend you ever have in your life.
Yeah, exactly. At 16, it's like the end of the world.
Right.
Yeah. And he go, but I really loved her, though. I said, well, here's the thing. I understand that you may have loved her. I understand that you may have wanted to be with her, but God doesn't always give us what we want, but he will give us what we need.
Yes, he will.
So you have to ask yourself, and I asked him, do you have a connection with him? And he said, yes, I just started, reading the Bible and everything. And so, and he was telling me scriptures and stuff and everything. So we just talked about that for a while. I gave him my number and told him to call me whenever he feels down. And
has he called you?
Yeah, he hasn't called yet, but I called the detention center to check on him, and they haven't had an episode from him since. Wow, this was like a month ago now.
Okay, that's excellent.
Wow,
yeah,
that is fabulous.
Around what age were you when you were bullied?
This was elementary for me. It was the physical bullying was elementary. When I hit my teen years, I hit a growth spurt and just.
Of course.
Yeah, and then there was
all of them sat their ass down.
Giant out of nowhere. And then all of a sudden the physical bullying stopped, and a lot of it was verbal. And for me, my mom always taught me never let people's words get to you.
Right.
Because they don't hurt. If they put their hands on you, however, that's a different story. She said, never start nothing, but always finish it. And so that's literally what I went through. Went by growing up in school, and so there was only 2 times in high school where I got tried physically, and let's say the first one nobody seen, the second one everyone seen, and it never happened again afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I think don't you think like a lot of kids that sometimes that it happens to, they don't have that support at home too.
Yeah.
And it makes it difficult because they're not getting that support and that nurture. It sounds like you got from your mom at home, and
they don't know who to talk to.
Well, right.
Exactly. They just bottle all of those emotions up and thoughts.
And I think the most important thing that you gave him and that you reinstilled and encouraged in his life was the power of God and His Word, and that when you can't do it on your own, you have to reach to the higher power of somebody who created the earth, and that's your power, and that's your strength, and that's your protection, and that's great that you encouraged him in that way, because I think there's so many lonely people out there too that
there, and it definitely starts at home. I feel.
That's the foundation.
Definitely, there's a lot of kids who, because of the non-connection they have with their family or parents or siblings at home, that they feel they can't talk to anybody about what they go through, so they keep it all bottled in. I visited a school in Atlanta where there was the kid, he was like the biggest kid. They call him Big Mike, but except for he was the opposite of Big Mike. His character. He was the troublemaker. He was the baddest kid in school.
Right. And
when I went to that school, I spent 15 minutes with him in private one-on-one. And I basically, we spoke about a lot of different things. I told him about what I went through growing up, told him how I got to where I was, asked him what he wanted to be, told him how to go about making it happen. And this was 2010. This was 2010. He was in ninth grade, I think. And I went back this year on the tour. And at the beginning of the tour, we were in Atlanta. Went back to that school. He was in 11th grade, all-A student.
Come on.
Hasn't been in trouble since my visit, and has like 4 different college offers already in the 11th grade.
Fantastic. That is fantastic. You're absolutely right. It starts at home, and it's very important. It starts in the church as well, is what you were saying. You have to have that spiritual grounding. And so that's a perfect segue into our final guest for today, who is Miss Sherry James.
Yay!
And she is going to be
Hi.
speaking about, yay, Sherry, welcome. She is going to be hitting directly on that subject. So, Sherry, take it away.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much, Millena. Thank you so much for having me.
Pressure.
No pressure there at all. I wanted to come in just to share with your listeners about the work that we're doing at our church, and Millena is a member of our church. We're actually doing a morning teleclass on the 10 Commandments.
Oh.
And it's such an awesome class because one of the things that we have discerned through the class is that the 10 Commandments are not just physical commandments, but they have mental and spiritual meaning as well, and that you can find that you are keeping them physically, but that you are actually breaking them spiritually. So, for example, the commandment, "Thou shalt have no other God before me." Well, in the earlier part of Exodus, God or Jehovah reveals His name as I Am, and the name of God in us is I Am. And so whenever we take the name of God, I Am, in us, and each of us says I Am, and we tie it to anything less than who and what God is, we lie, and we break that commandment. And so to say I am broke is a lie, is to take the name of the Lord in vain. To say I am sick is a lie, because none of these things can be true about God. Therefore, none of these things can be true about you. And so in this class, what we're doing is teaching people how to live a life that is in accord with principle, and that isn't just lip service to I love God, but that it actually is demonstrated in your actions and especially in your words. And we all know that all words are creative. So that is the class. So it's every morning from 7 to 7:30. It is an incredible class, and the testimonies that are coming out, the breakthroughs that people are having in their lives, because the way the class is structured is that it's a 40-day class. And so we spent the first 7 days just preparing the mind to receive the law, just working on prayer and consecration and just understanding all the different players in the wilderness story, and then where we are in that story. And then the next 10 days we spent working through the 10 commandments, 1 commandment per day. And then this period that we're in right now, which is part 3 of the journey, we're working through the 12 tribes of Israel, the brothers or brothers of Joseph or sons of Jacob, who each one of them represents a spiritual faculty. And so the spiritual faculties are things that we have that allow us to keep the commandments spiritually. And then the last 10 days will be revisiting the commandments, but now looking at them from a spiritual point of view and what attitudes of mind are needed to keep each one.
And you know what I love about that? Because, when Jesus came, He came so that we wouldn't be slaves to the law. So we are not any longer bound to that law, although the commandments absolutely stand, but we cannot keep the commandments because we are sin, and we're born into sinful nature. But Jesus came that through his blood and his grace, we have grace under what Jesus did for us from the law. So we're not bound to that law anymore, like the Israelites who had to, kill the bull, and the priest had to stand there with the robe and atone for the people's sin. Well, that's what Jesus did. So that's what's so cool. And I love that you guys are working the commandments into it, because people, I think, take the commandments lightly and really don't understand the power of it. And that is the basis for so much. But I also love the fact that I'm not, God doesn't expect me to, he knows I'm going to sin, and there's so much grace in that because of what Jesus did. So I think that's a really neat thing you're doing. I'm sorry, I can't see you. I'm trying to, I can't see you, but hey, hope you can feel my heart from over here.
Sure. I do want to offer, though, that it is a commandment, thou shalt not commit adultery. It is a commandment, thou shalt not steal.
Yes.
And those are things that you should not do.
That's right. That's right.
But what you also know is that spiritually you cannot commit adultery. Spiritually, you cannot take the name of the Lord's name in vain, because the Lord stands under creation in complete integrity. I am cannot lie for you. So if you say I am sick or I am broke, I am doesn't say, oh my God, no. Genesis 1:26, she was created in the image likeness. It says, I cannot lie for her. Yes, broke she is. And so if you have to learn to use your I am.
No, so by saying that, you're speaking into it.
Exactly. You have to learn how to use your words. Your word is your power.
That's right.
And man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes out of the mouth of the Lord. In your life, the word that comes out of your mouth is the word of the Lord in your mouth. Your word creates in your world. And so if you use words that harm yourself, because we like to joke, so we make jokes out of self-deprecating humor. Oh, I'm so stupid, or oh, I don't know why I do that. And the thing is that underneath that, you are demeaning yourself and denigrating who you really are. Who you are is wonderful. Who you are is made in the image likeness. Who you are is whole, perfect, complete. Who you are is wondrous. And so if the scripture says you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And so that means that you've got to let go of the idea of being a wretch. You've got to let go of the idea of being a worm of the dust, because you cannot be wondrous and a worm of the dust. You cannot be sinful and a worm of the dust. You cannot be wretched and lower than the scum of the earth and made in the image likeness. You got to kind of pick what it is and how you're going to see yourself. And you have to be bold enough and be deliberate enough to be thoughtful in your theology and not accept things just because they've been given to you, but to question everything that you've been given. This is your right as a spiritual being. This is your responsibility as a spiritual being.
Wow, thank you. How can you tell? We have unfortunately our time is almost over. I hate it. It just disappears. Every week it just evaporates.
Well, thank you for having me. Sure. The phone call in the morning is 7 to 7:30. The phone number is 559-726-1300, and the PIN number is 616712. It's a Q&A call. We go for a half an hour, and it is a wonderful way to start the day. The upliftment is just incredible. But that number again is 559-726-1300, and the PIN number is 616712#.
Awesome. Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Sherry. And that's Ms. Sherry James from the Up Church.
Yes.
Located at 600 East Queen Street.
West.
She doesn't go there every Sunday.
I only go every week. I don't know.
Goes once in a while.
No, I go every week.
She
That happens to be on Sunday.
On her birthday, she went.
I was there yesterday on my birthday. I'm just fine.
Yes, it is Up Church. And
you go to the right building?
It is 600 West Queen Street in Inglewood, California, 90301. So,
Awesome.
yes. And the services are at 1 o'clock on Sundays. So you can go get your party on and still be on time.
Exactly.
There's Millena. All right.
You know And thanks, Natalie Whittle, friend. Okay.
She wasn't here for the early
right,
part.
Right.
But she described it very well. Right on time. Okay, Sherry.
I love my friends. Love them so much.
You have
My
some
fabulous
good friends.
I have good friends.
Yeah,
and I'm not even
good
going to talk about my friend Quentin who's texting while we're on the air. Oh,
No,
my gosh.
ma'am.
I'm
That
not
etiquette?
gonna
I was
talk-
trying to
He
put
didn't
the
do that on
address
manager.
down.
Oh, you're going to go to
I was trying to put the address down.
Clearly, after this show was stopped,
Come on
Sherry
through.
gonna be just evaporating. We can't talk to her at all because it has to be done right
Don't
now.
let him do
I
that
have
to
a
you.
short-term memory, and I might forget. to
Clearly, we're not gonna
Quentin,
disperse
feel
this
free to put her in a
information.
headlock.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
ask. I can't do that. I'm sorry.
Thank
Tell her to
you.
hush it.
He's a gentleman.
Thank you,
Millena.
Quentin, for being here
Quentin.
today.
Thank you for having me.
Quentin,
You're going to
so
have to come back and we'll just
sweet.
have a whole show with just me and you without
Yes.
Natalie.
Oh,
And so we'll just have a whole
No, that can't
Natalie,
happen.
she will find you.
I know.
I have a feeling she'll know.
I have a feeling too.
Right?
I know
She's
that-
laughing because I know.
Mhm, she thinks
I'll
I'm
be
not
invited.
serious. You okay?
I'm not
I know
worried.
you want to have you're having a wonderful event for your birthday. You mentioned it to me.
Yes,
it's
yes.
coming up in August, so we'll have you on right before then. But have people put it on their calendar. It is
It's gonna be a birthday bowling event for my foundation.
Wonderful.
I already told Brenda about it. She put it on her calendar.
She didn't
Oh,
tell me about
definitely.
it. That's funny.
It's
And-
a celebrity
well-
bowling event.
So what you doing now?
It's gonna be a celebrity bowling tournament. We're still going through the logistics of the planning and everything right
August
now. So
15th.
It's a
Bam.
Thursday.
Yep.
Yeah. It's
I'll
a
be there.
Thursday.
Oh, wait.
He may not know it yet, but I'll be there.
you're
Yeah.
invited.
Thank you.
Sherry, are you going to be
Everyone in this
there?
room is
Actually,
invited.
Yeah, if I'm invited, I guess I will be there.
Everyone in this room is invited. Definitely.
Thank you.
Invited
Our fabulous engineers invited too.
Definitely.
Okay.
And I actually just spoke to Dave Mearsh.
David Mears.
Oh.
Yes. Yesterday, and he said because I missed the bowling event they just did on the 28th, he wants to throw one for my foundation. So that one is going to be in probably January, February.
Nice.
So he's working on planning that one with my executive director, and I'll have more info in the future on that.
All right.
Yeah, we look forward to participating in that one. That one on the 28th was awesome. That was awesome. Kathleen.
I wish I was there.
I know. I wasn't there
did her
either.
thing. Melissa did her thing. It
Did
was,
Melissa go?
Melissa was there.
Good, we can talk about this
gosh.
off
I
the
know.
air.
I know, but we do have to
it's
wrap. I just
6:01.
want to thank
Okay.
you so
Thank you
much.
for having me, Millena.
Can I just do something
You're the
before
best.
we leave?
Yes, go ahead.
I just want
Natalie.
to do something.
Sorry.
Real quick before we leave. Is my birthday present to you.
Oh, he's going to sing.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Millena. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sexual chocolate.
Yes. You did not just say
Yes.
So not invited back on my show. Oh my God. Thank you, Quentin.
Thank you.
That was
From the bottom of my
beautiful.
heart. That was
thank
beautiful.
you.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Oh,
Thank
Got
you.
some
made me blush.
pipes.
My heart melted.
This has been a good show.
It has been. And thank you guys so much for joining us
Thank
today.
you.
Thank you, my good
Thank you
friends.
so
Thank you,
much.
Brenda.
Love you, girl.
We did not get a chance to talk a whole lot about birthday etiquette, except I can give you some words when you're hanging out with your friends. Make sure you have the good ones there who are not going to just blast all your business around. But otherwise, what you do on your birthday, it's your special day. So just have fun, relax, enjoy, and do what makes you feel happy and best, and celebrate your life. So with that, thank you so much for tuning in. Please join me again next week when I will have the fabulous Mr. Art Evans will be our guest. And another special guest. Maybe we're just waiting on confirmation. In the meantime, this lovely jewelry is from the MGSC collection, Millena Gay Signature Collection, available for purchase at 1205 North La Brea, L&L's Boutique. Otherwise, follow me on Twitter or Facebook, and you stay tuned, and I'll see you next week. Mwah. Happy birthday.